You were the highest paid escort in Australia.
It has had consequences for those close to me, and I think it would be foolish not to acknowledge that. I came from that industry. There is also a dark side to it that people don't really want to advertise.
Onlyfans, the dark side about Onlyfans.
Well, I went public 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it was really controversial. Now it's not controversial at all.
Bonnie Blue have slept with 1,000 guys in a 24-hour period. Yeah, what's your take on that?
Would I do it? Absolutely not. And I just wonder how women like that in 5, 10, 15, 20 years are going to cope with their past. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a sex worker, but do you...
At 51, Amanda, what would you say is the thing that still haunts you today the most?
I wouldn't say haunt me because I would do it all again. I really enjoyed the job itself. It wasn't the job that haunts me per se. It was more...
Amanda, thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
Being one of our best performers.
Well, the comment,
I've heard that before.
And the comments we
And
might
the
have
jokes have started.
Well, we might have been nervous last time, so we...
Are you nervous now?
We're basically friends now, you know, so it's all good. And
If anyone goes back to that other episode, there were some nervous moments. So for people that don't know, Samantha X was your alias when you were working in the sex industry.
Yep.
And for context, highest paid at the time.
I was at the time. Now
Highest paid escort in Australia.
at the time, which was, well, I went public 10 years ago. I released my first book and then 10 years ago, it was really controversial. Now it's not controversial at all. You know, everyone's doing it now. Pretty much.
Is it because people seem to... Because of
OnlyFans,
everyone, it's
there was
conditioned.
none of that when I was... when I went forward. There was no OnlyFans, there was no podcasts on sex workers, there was nothing.
Yeah.
So it was controversial. Now it's more unusual if you don't have an OnlyFans account or you know.
Well, I'm looking for some extra cash.
Yes.
Cost of living pressures are high. Not that I'd do any good. Because I did think when we were doing the research, Amanda, I was like...
That would have been hard, the research on OnlyFans and stuff.
No, research on you. But, you would have dominated.
Well, 10 years ago, yes. But if I'd gone public now, no one would care.
There would have been
So
some serious competition as well. 'cause,
Yes,
you know,
seriously.
You were
I mean, look at the-
trailblazer back then.
Well,
You would have
looking
made-
back, yes. But, you know, now it's the Bonnie Blue types and...
Well, you brought it
Oh,
up.
no, okay, you're gonna ask
And Lily
me.
Phillips, we have to.
Yes, of course.
It would be remiss of us not to ask about. So it's Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips have slept with 1,000 guys in a 24-hour period plus. Yeah, what's your take on that? Is that
Look,
that empowerment or is that just
look, I'm
ridiculous?
torn, to be honest, because I do believe, you know, women can do what they want.
It's either empowerment or insanity.
Well, yeah, I don't want to say too much about those women because they are sex workers, and you know, I came from that industry. But would I do it? Absolutely not. And yeah, I just wonder how women, I'm not going to talk about those, I'm not going to name them, but women like that in 5, 10, 15, 20 years are going to cope with their past, because I know I've had to deal with my past, and it is a battle sometimes. And while I was, excited, empowered, all those things, there is also a dark side to it that people don't really want to advertise. And I just worry about women, girls, because they're young girls, how they're going to feel in a few years' time about that.
And it's so public and forever out
Yeah.
on the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
Like it's forever.
And I said in my third book that, there's nothing wrong with being a sex worker, but do you always want to be known for that? You know, most sex workers, well, they certainly used to in my day, didn't identify themselves. They were anonymous for good reason. And now there's so much out there, women, men and women who talk about the job. And fair enough, there's nothing to be ashamed of. But it will take it from me. I'm living it now. You know, I've left the industry. I will always be known as that girl. So these women will always be known as the women that slept with 1,000 men in 24 hours. And you may think that's great now, but in 20 years, would you think that's great? You know.
Yeah, and I feel it would, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, when you were working, getting, you transitioning out into a different space now, be harder for these girls when you know, like
Not
God,
harder, impossible.
Impossible.
they're just
was
like
hard.
they're famous worldwide.
Yeah. Look, I had a career. I was a journalist before I became Samantha,
Yeah.
and I've gone back to being a journalist. So I'm lucky I had that skill, that career, you know, and I've had a family and I've done all of that. Those girls might not want to work forever in that industry, but to go back into a normal, conventional life, conventional job is going to be near impossible for them, rightly or wrongly. There will always be discrimination and stigma. And I don't make those rules. Society does.
And with those girls, the big difference between them and you as well, Samantha, like you say, you still struggle with it now. Yours isn't, your whole journey isn't documented online that people
No.
can still go back and view. So theirs is almost like an archive. So when they get to your age and
Yeah,
maybe they're in your
which
position.
is 51 now. Yeah.
Which is 51 and you're looking amazing for 51.
I was waiting for that. Thank you.
but you know, when they get to 51 and they maybe start to try and distance themselves, or it's not them, because it's not going to be them. Everyone changes. They
Absolutely.
can say it's going to be them forever as much as until they're blue in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
But everyone's changes. There's going to be a day when they're not going to want to be that person.
Yeah.
But the problem for them is, for you, if you didn't talk about it and didn't put it out there public, it would fade away unless people would know, and it wouldn't be as significant in your life because it doesn't, there's not an archive of it back, you know, for people to go and visit and remind themselves of, oh, that was Samantha X, right? These girls, no matter what they do, it's always going to follow them around because the archives of the videos and the clips and all that. So it's almost like they're going to have to deal with what you're dealing with now and have had to deal with, you know, internally, but I feel like it's going to be on steroids.
Yeah, totally. And also the money, I mean, they'll say, well, I'm making millions. I made a lot of money too, but I spent a lot of money. And you know, when I left the industry, I wasn't a multimillionaire. And, you know, smart girls invest their money and they don't buy Ferraris, you know, and
Are those girls buying Ferraris?
I think Bonnie Blue's just bought a Lamborghini or a Ferrari.
But and totally agree. Like, I don't know, I see
not
the
gonna
money
last
that some
forever.
of these people make.
Yeah.
They're making proper money though today, aren't they?
Yeah, but it won't last forever.
No,
I
no.
thought my money was going to last
Yeah,
forever.
yeah.
I thought I would always make the money I made.
Yeah.
But as soon as you retire,
Yeah,
you
it
don't.
stops.
I don't know whether in porn you make money every time someone still view, like, you know.
If you get,
I don't know if that
yeah,
still
yeah.
happens. If that happens, I don't know. The
How
money's.
the OnlyFans contracts is written
Yeah,
up.
I don't know how it is. I don't.
Nah, either
but
do
there
I.
will be there'll be someone new coming on the scene, and that you know that she's very much the porn star of the day, but someone else will take over soon.
Yeah.
Can I ask, at 51, Amanda, you know, you're open, which is amazing because hopefully some other girls will see this, a bit late for the Bonnie Blues of the world. But what would you say is the thing that still haunts you today the most? Just internally to yourself in your head, is it the people's perception of you, or that you're always going to be known as? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. I wouldn't say haunt me because I would do it all again. I would. I would do it all again.
So you're not that, I guess, beaten up by it that you would go, if I had my time again, I wouldn't have done that.
No, because I think that with regret, with decisions, if you regret them, it either takes you spiraling down into a very dark hole, and I've been to that place, or you learn from it. And I've learned from it, and I know I've helped a lot of people as Samantha, even myself. It saved me, I think, being Samantha, which I talk about in my book because I had undiagnosed bipolar. So I reckon creating that character probably saved my life, but hindsight's a wonderful thing, and had I known what I know now, I would have done things a bit differently. I probably wouldn't have been so public about it because, and I discuss this in my book, it has had consequences for those close to me, and I think it would be foolish not to acknowledge that. You know, even though a lot of people don't judge, there are people that do, and sex work will always be stigmatized, even though people say they don't, they do. And while I was really happy to go out public and, as you say, trailblaze for sex workers, it came at a cost. But has it made me closer with those that I love? Yes. And have I learned from it? Yes. So, but the hardest thing has been acknowledging that. You know, when I'm being medicated, seeing the wood for the trees and thinking, shit, did I really do that?
Yeah.
You know, no, while I'm not blaming bipolar at all, it helps me understand.
Do you have vivid memories? Is there certain specific memories of that time that stand out, or moments, or do you sort of more looking forward? Does that make sense? And you're not constantly
No, it took me
getting taunted by memories or things that trigger. God, I remember when I was here last. Fuck, that wasn't.
The job itself was, I really enjoyed the job itself. It wasn't the job that haunts me per se. It was more the publicity, I think, and the feeling I couldn't shake off that deep down I knew it really wasn't me.
Talk to us a bit about the bipolar, because you're bipolar when you're Samantha, Amanda. Like, for people that don't understand it, what's that like, living like that, and now knowing that was a real thing, and now obviously you're sort of dealing with it.
And I didn't know what bipolar was. You know,
I don't like.
Yeah. So bipolar, everyone thinks bipolar people are crazy and mad, and I'm not saying we're not, but it is. It's genetic. It can be genetic, and it can be caused by trauma as well. And it is typically there's bipolar 1 and bipolar 2, and I have bipolar 2. Bipolar 1 is the one where you have extreme mania and what's another word for mania? Anyway, you have extreme mania and hallucinations and you can't sleep. I don't have that one. I have the one where I cycle between hypermania and depression, hypermania, depression.
Right. So you're up.
Yeah.
So visually, a normal person sitting here, their mood, and your mood is either up here,
skyrocketing,
which is, but hypermania. So a normal person's mania would be there, but you're hypermania, so you're up here,
and you make stupid decisions,
and then you're back all the way down here.
Yeah, and it just your
Whereas
life is a cycle.
Yeah, and the normal person would be sitting in the middle, and when they have mania peak, bit of stress, they just go up a little bit, and then they come back down. Whereas hypermania
takes you on a ride.
You're all the way up here, and then you're all the way back down there.
Yeah, and a lot of people in the creative industries have bipolar, sportsmen particularly.
So during those sort of cycles, like you call it, was it a little bit sort of Samantha?
Samantha, Amanda. And in my mania, I achieved so much. I wrote my best-selling books in record time. I, became Samantha. I became the most famous and the most expensive. I was on like this train hurtling out of control.
What kind of manic behaviours, though, would you say? So if you're locked into something and you decide
I did it. I thought I'm going to be an escort. I'm going to be the best in Australia. I did it. I'm going to write books about it. I did it. I'm going to go out. Once and I've written about this. At one stage I had 3 dogs and 2 cats in a cage in my kitchen, even though I had no space. I'd go out and buy a chihuahua instead of the shopping. I'd come back with an Irish wolfhound. I got a Great Dane that I couldn't fit. It was just madness behavior. I was on the beach once and I decided to go and get a convertible BMW in my bikini. So I went to BMW. I had no money. It was ridiculous. So those thoughts of destructive. I got into debt. Destructive habits. I got into debt.
Decision making, just
decision making that I truly believed was the right thing at the time. I decided I was going to be a politician at one stage. So I went and met all these politicians. I came to Melbourne and had a meeting with a politician and asked her for a job, and then went into the cafe and said, I'm going to be working here. There was no job. I was completely delusional. I said to it was just...
And not aware, not self-aware.
But I didn't, I thought it was the right thing,
Yeah.
And I think being Samantha and being so vocal about it and going on TV, going to London and going on TV and going to LA and going on TV, I think that was part of couldn't get off the mania cycle. A mania can last weeks, months, years, and then you come down again, and then the enormity of my decisions would leave me bedridden.
And then you decided to go get some help, speak to someone, and then you got diagnosed.
Well, it was accident. I got diagnosed accidentally.
Right.
Yeah. I got diagnosed accidentally, not accidentally, but in passing. And then I went to 2 psychologists, and they sent me to Professor Gordon Parker, who's the founder of Black Dog Institute, who's written the foreword of my book. And he diagnosed me, He said usually he's 80% sure his patients are bipolar, but with me he's 100%. So at least I did it well.
Yeah, there was no doubt.
No doubt, which is why I look at these young girls today, and I'm not saying, they must have bipolar, but I do recognize myself in that a little bit. The madness of it all.
Yeah. Do you think there needs to be a little bit of madness to get into the industry a little bit of?
Well, you could say that about any industry, really. I think there needs to be a certain type of person. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely a certain type of person.
How do you think it's evolved? Obviously, we talk about OnlyFans and that sort of thing. How has it evolved? You know, do you sort of still keep in touch with maybe young women that, you know,
Not really.
No one's reaching out.
Sometimes they do, and I always say, you know, especially young women, I always advise them to I've always advised young women to get a career first, and if they want kids, go and have kids, because once they're in the industry, they're pretty much stuck in the industry.
Yep.
It's hard to leave. But, you know, it's just, like I said earlier, it's such it's a saturated market now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like go on maths and then you have an OnlyFans account. I was actually thinking of having an OnlyFans account recently.
Yeah.
No, but not like a porn one. But I thought, you know, how can I still keep a little bit of me? But then I just,
Because there's
I'm
levels
trying to
to
move
your
on from that.
OnlyFans account by the sounds of it. There's
And
levels to how you
OnlyFans
treat
accounts
it.
don't need to be used
No.
for porn either. That's just what they're synonymous for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's really
Like
just
it's
a
a
paywall.
paid
Yeah.
paywall,
yeah.
You could pay to see someone's feet.
Would you do it for $1 million?
No.
$2
Oh,
million?
just show me feet.
Do
yeah,
what?
Sure,
Do what?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
feet.
what's your price?
Yeah. Well, I feel like everyone has a
Here you
price, don't
go.
they?
Well,
That's
here's
a great question.
What
yeah.
is your price?
To show my feet or
No.
to become a male escort? And are we taking me back? I just need context. Am I married with 3 kids like now, or am I going back to Ben that was 16 or say 18, 19, 20?
When did you get married?
I got married when I was 18 years ago in about 4 days. Believe it or not.
You
Oh.
met and married in 4 days.
No, yeah, in 4 days' time,
Is your
18
Oh,
years
okay,
ago,
okay, got it,
anniversary.
got it.
Yeah.
I'd say right now, what's your price?
What's my price right now? There's no price right now.
5 million.
I wouldn't do it for 5 million now.
10.
Would it have to be a career or just
No,
a
just
one-off?
a one-off.
Oh man, if the boss was
Five?
I'm
You're
backtracking.
doing
Here.
it.
If the boss was on board, I'd do it for 500.
Guess what? So I got an Uber yesterday, and no word of a lie, I said to the Uber driver, because I was feeling really sick, I said, as soon as I went in, I said, "Oh, why do you have to be good looking?" And I feel so shit. Anyway, he's a male escort,
Oh,
and he said, "I've just come from a job."
Didn't you guys just
Ah,
hit it off and start
No,
chatting?
well, I think he expected me to be shocked and like go, oh, and I was like, "Oh, really?"
oh, me too.
And
I'm Australia's biggest. And
No,
that
but that's what I mean. It's a saturated market.
Yeah.
Like he had just come from a job where there was an old man in Richmond and 2 women. He was coked off his head, the man, and he just wanted. Am I allowed to even talk about what he told me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And he just the old man just wanted him to have sex with the women in front of him. And by the way, he picked me up at 9:30 in the morning. He'd already done this.
Oh, so it was. Oh, they've had a big night. The night
Yeah,
before
he said he had a big night,
in
and
the,
then
in the morning.
Yeah, you obviously know what I'm talking about. You obviously know what I'm talking about. Was it you?
yeah. Oh God, what a that's wild. So it's the Uber driver. He's running
driver.
Uber and he's got side services.
Well, I know, and I
Psychic.
lay in the back thinking, how much money have I got in my wallet? No, I wouldn't. I haven't done it. Couldn't do it.
Now Pete got to skip before. What about you, Peter?
What's that?
Would you what's your price?
Yeah, what's your price?
There's a lot of context that needs filling in.
No, it's a very simple question.
Oh. But no, Mill that you were talking about before sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easy.
With
No
a
drama.
man?
Cash?
With a man?
No way.
5 mil.
No.
10 mil.
Oh, no.
Come
No.
on, that's such a lie. That's such a
Jesus,
lie.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to do.
If Jem was on board, you'd do it for a mil.
And no one ever
You get a
found
new
out.
house, but
A man's
you can't.
pretty hard
You
thing
can't.
to do, man.
But you're blowing your life up for money, and
And
money
no
doesn't
one would
buy
ever
happiness.
find it. Doesn't. But
And I tell you what,
Cost of living
what
is-
we're
We're
getting up to.
going
So, no, the man's hard. Like I don't think like I just can't.
just a blowjob.
I just can't.
Oh, that's different.
Poo. Yeah, I think I find that really, really hard.
That's a confronting question
oh.
for PK from Wang.
No, well, I just the whole boys. I'm not into boys. You know what I mean?
For
I would
10
find that
million?
very hard for whatever. It'd be hard. You know what I mean? I'm I'm not saying it wouldn't be done, but it'd be hard. It'd be very hard. It'd be very hard.
Can I've got some questions.
Yeah.
Difference between a man that pays for sex and doesn't? That was someone that put in the comments last time. Could you tell a difference between those type of guys?
A client is usually much nicer.
Okay.
Oh, so you mean someone who does it?
So
Yeah,
dating,
so
is,
someone that
First-timer.
dating in the real world is really hard. I find that really challenging, actually. I found working much easier.
Is there
Why?
any
Why?
clients that you actually miss? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I love
you've
them all. Yeah, I love them all.
Yep.
What do you mean by
Because
because is that the expectations
the
like aligned when you're in
boundaries,
business?
you never know. I'm actually, I think I'm like an, experienced with men and what they, how they think. And I actually don't. I'm actually not.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'd say you'd be a guru,
No. Well,
but then you get out there.
I think I know them too well.
You get out
now.
there in the wild.
That's how I feel. I feel I'm in the wild and I've lost my power.
Yeah,
That's how I feel.
like
I
a
feel
lion that's been like tamed,
I'm just an
and now they've put you out there, and
now.
you're getting eaten by just a hyena or something.
Yeah,
Who does have the power in that situation, would you say? So when
I'd
when
say
someone,
the workers do.
the workers do, and because that would be, I guess the client would think that they would you like, I would assume the client would think that they are, since they've got the money and they're no.
It all depends on the situation. I mean,
Yeah, that's the thing. Like if that's your arena, like you're
Yeah.
comfortable, you know
Yeah.
what's up.
usually men
Where
are
a-
very nervous.
Yeah, that's I would imagine if a bloke goes in there. Yeah.
Are you imagining?
Nah. Well, that's I'm just
Is it
thinking how I felt
hard
last
to
time, and
have
I was
fun?
nervous and she wasn't. So there you go.
Oh, God.
So yeah, dating is really hard.
And are you dating now?
On
or-
and off.
On and
yeah,
off.
But it's
And when these people, when you meet someone, Amanda, do you feel like you need to disclose this, or how quickly do they figure it out, or is it better for you to go, I know they're going to figure it out quick, so I'll disclose it straight away?
Well, I mean, they say, "What do you do, journalist, author? Have you written books?" Yes, I've written books, and then that's how it usually goes. But I sort of feel younger men don't really care that much.
Yeah. Okay.
There's going to be no long-term relationship. I sort of feel it's old news now. No one really cares, and because it's in the media so much with other girls, I don't think people really care. They're more interested in the fact that I don't drink. That's what interests them more, that I'm sober.
Well, you weren't always sober,
I've been sober for 6 years, alcohol-wise.
alcohol-wise. And what about illicit?
4 years.
4 years.
Illicit drugs.
I was trying to think. I was going to say party drugs.
Yeah.
But so what would you say?
I was a champagne party girl and everything that came with it. So
Yep.
I got sober, and that's when my bipolar was picked up, when I was sober.
So you're 46 at this point.
in my late
46.
40s.
Yeah.
I'm only just 51, but I don't know whatever that is minus 6.
That's a journey.
6, 7, 8, 9.
That's a
Because
journey.
I remember the story you told last time, how you're with like the mothers group or whatever, and you got hammered on the champagne.
I don't even remember.
That was in
Oh
Bondi.
yes.
Bondi, maybe.
Yes.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
like a little lunch get together. And
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do remember that. See, my memories, I've blanked a lot of stuff out.
oh yeah.
But you've been on a
That.
journey, Amanda.
Yes.
To think about, like, you're 51 now, and we're talking about 4 years ago. You're still battling with,
Yeah.
maybe
Probably
whatever,
5 years ago.
4 or 5
actually.
years
Yeah.
ago, which is 5 years is a long time, but at the same time, it's not that long in the context of 51 years. Do you find now? I guess because it would have been a progression. I would
Definitely a
Yeah,
progression.
so it's been a progression of
Yeah.
on and off, and a love-hate relationship with drugs and alcohol, quitting. I'm off it, I'm on it, I'm off it and on it. And it sounds like 5 years ago was when you finally put the pin in it. Would you say, well, that's probably my question. Is the pin in it now? Would you say, do you feel like addiction
Is it still hard
Well,
work
addiction,
today?
they say addiction's not curable, it's only manageable. So once you're an addict for life. You're one bad decision away from being back at square one, right?
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, like, how are you handling, like, where are you at now? Because you seem like you're in a really, really good place.
Yeah.
But it's not that long ago you've had to fight, at 46 you're still fighting for your happiness and trying to find your center, I suppose.
Yeah. It's hard work, I don't miss. Well, I do miss drinking particularly, but I never drank every day. I never drank every week. I just binged, and it would be game over. So I would lose everything. So, but now I sort of trick myself into thinking I can have a glass of wine with dinner, but there's no point. I'm too scared that it will take me back to that space.
Special occasion.
Yeah.
Just a special occasion.
Yeah, there's always a reason.
And 1 year later, after that special occasion, you're still trying to.
Exactly. So it's not worth it for me. And now I always say I'm too vain to start drinking again because I will age a decade if I start my old ways. But it is progressive. I never was a big drinker or anything like that until I hit my 30s, 40s. And then I think it was the stress of dealing with Samantha and the publicity that I struggled with a lot.
So you've done the book. When did the book come out?
The third book's just come out, literally 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, nice.
And yeah, the foreword has been written by my psychiatrist.
Yes.
And yeah, it's written by the first 2 books I wrote under Samantha. This one's written under my real name.
Yeah, nice.
And it's just basically about how I've coping with retiring from Samantha, and suddenly, men treating me a different way. Not making the money I used to make.
Can you tell us about that? Not men treating you a different way?
Yeah.
Tell us more about it.
But I had incidents where,
You're surrendering that power because that made you feel powerful.
yeah, and then that just men would still. I sort of like I'm too embarrassed to talk to you about it, to be honest.
Can't believe we've made Amanda embarrassed.
Payback.
Tables
PK.
are turned, mother.
They still had in their heads that I was Samantha, let's just put it that way. And one man said to me, I just wanted to manipulate you to see how I felt about my pregnant girlfriend. Yeah. It was a long, certain men treated me still a certain way that
Right.
made me remember why I became Samantha in the first place. So I just thought, and it was like a year of me thinking, if men are going to treat me like this still, then I may as well be Samantha again. But that's, because I've changed a little bit and I've put more boundaries up. Because when I left Samantha was good for me in the way it taught me boundaries with men. And so when I left Samantha, I sort of lost those boundaries a bit. It's hard to explain to 2 guys, I guess.
I would have thought
Lily would probably understand
I would have thought
it.
the opposite though. I would have thought the opposite would be true, that your boundaries were pretty liberal as Samantha, and then
No, they're watertight
yeah, right.
Yeah.
with Samantha. And then, so now I'm in the real world again.
Yeah.
I guess I would liken it to a sports person, a sports star who suddenly stops playing footy and is really struggling to come to terms with not having that life anymore and not knowing who he is or she is.
Absolutely, and finding that thrill, or whether, even if it's not even a thrill, it does.
It definitely was a thrill.
But how do you replace that?
It was
And
challenging.
it's a big part of your identity, which is what I was saying before. And you had to surrender that, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're walking around as Samantha, and you're
Yeah.
like you said, you're not the vulnerable one. You're
the
calling,
alpha.
Yeah, you're the alpha. You're
Yes.
calling the shots. You're naming the price. You're fucking the time, all of that stuff, and then all of a sudden, you're just a civilian.
Exactly.
When no one gives a fuck about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also having to deal with my past as well.
Yeah.
And
But what is the hardest part of that? When you say that, is it the things that you did, or because you keep saying
some of the headlines
because
I
what-
remember.
Because that's what I was going to say. You keep saying the press.
Some
Can
of the
you
headlines,
unpack
yeah.
that? Can you
Well,
unpack what it is about?
It just wasn't me. I thought I had to behave a certain way and look a certain way. I've had surgery since I gave up Samantha. I had my boobs reduced. I'm embarrassed to talk about that on a male podcast.
This is the place. Extraordinary stories. Let's go.
I even dress differently. Everything's different. And it's just writing the book was quite cathartic. So it helped me come back to earth a little bit. Yeah.
And really, I would imagine therapeutic, because like you said, you block a lot of it out. But if you write a book, it makes you actually go back there and relive it, and then put a pin in it and move on.
Yeah, my first 2 books were so explicit. I can't, now I look back at them and I cannot believe I wrote them. I'm like, who the fuck wrote these books? Because they are pretty explicit sexually.
And it was much different experience writing it as Amanda
Yes.
than as Samantha.
Yeah, that's wild. That is wild. So So you're still on your journey now, or you're feeling a bit more?
I'm feeling a bit more settled.
Yeah,
I
you
want to
do
move to
feel-
Melbourne. I
Yep.
want, I want to have a fresh start here. And
You've got, and can I ask about the pod? You had the pod.
yeah,
going.
I do. I have a podcast called Exposed.
Exposed, that's right. Can you tell
Yeah.
us some of the people that you've had on, and maybe what's the most interesting one that you can share with us? Because you had some, it was really around that same industry, right? So
Some of them were, yeah. I mean, I had male escort. Male escort stories always do well. Always do well. People are fascinated with male escorts.
yeah, that's
You know,
Magic Mike.
yeah, but they're really normal guys. One used to work in the disability industry. I'm fascinated when they talk about having sex with 82-year-old women. And
Stop it.
yes, to me, it's even. And I was in the industry, and I'm still fascinated.
Is that actually happening?
Yes, yes. There's a very good male escort agency called Her Confidant, and
We'll link it down below.
it's based in Melbourne, and she has loads of male escorts that work for her. It's a thing. Like women these days, they're choosing not to get married, they're choosing to be single, and they're buying intimacy. It's really turned on its head.
Really?
Yes, it is a thing.
I wonder if OnlyFans has slowed down the foot traffic at the brothels or escort agencies and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because
Maybe.
they're getting access, instant gratification. They can,
Maybe. But people want
a good
connection.
question.
Yeah. Have you had an OnlyFans girl here?
No, we haven't.
That's disappointing.
That is a good point. Yeah.
You should get Angela White on here.
Angela White. Do you know Angela White?
No, I
Lucas
don't.
and-
Do you know Angela
I've
White?
never heard of Angela White. PK? I'm tipping PK hasn't.
No.
No. There's another girl that you may know that she's got TikToks, which my wife watches and is fascinated by. And she tells her stories about, last night I just got home, and she shows the money, tells them how much she made.
Yeah. She talked about the Peggy Sue.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, I was interested. I sort of heard about her. Yeah.
Yeah, my wife showed me, and I was send it to Lil. She would be a good one too, I reckon. But she's just completely open. She's just like,
They all are these
yeah.
days. They're completely open.
So I just got home 2 hours ago. I made X money.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Angela White, when you look up someone that has their net worth, like in the question, and I haven't asked net worth.
What's her net worth?
Saying 10.
10 million.
10 milli.
Yep.
Question. What do you reckon your revenue over... How long were you,
I'm
Samantha?
not answering that because the tax department.
Were you in the millions though? Oh, no.
Didn't make a cent. Did not make a cent.
So 10 mil.
And everything I made, I gave to the tax department.
Yeah.
10 million. I reckon she's worth more than that.
So what does she do for context? So she's got an OnlyFans.
She's a porn star, isn't she?
Oh, so
Debbie?
she's sleeping
Yeah.
with people on her OnlyFans. Is there an active industry?
Yeah, there's an active
Does that make
industry.
sense?
Yeah. Look, I'm so far out of it now. Like, there is an active industry.
I'd imagine there would be more so now than back then because of the connectivity
Yeah.
and because of the sheer numbers of people that would be doing it. Because I'd imagine this girl's one that we know of, but
Yeah.
there'd be girls all over the state that have
It's
got these
honestly
fucking things.
saturated market. I
Yeah.
can't keep up with it. And I don't honestly choose to look at it much. I don't have much to do with it these days. It's like going back into something I want to move away from.
Yeah. Is that the goal now? So you wrote the third book.
Yeah.
You've written it in your own name.
Yeah. It's sort of like putting it, no pun intended, putting it to bed.
Yeah.
Move. I've just given you a dad joke. Yeah.
And where do we go from here then? So we the book's out.
So I want to move to Melbourne,
Yep.
which I've always loved. I love Melbourne so much, and keep writing, freelancing for the Daily Mail, particularly.
Is that so? You're writing for the Daily Mail.
Yeah,
and-
mostly.
And what kind of is that? What kind of journalism?
Just all, real people. I just love being a journalist. Actually, you know what? I spent 10 years as Samantha, just over 10 years. Had I stayed a journalist, I do wonder where I'd be now. Would I be an editor of something or, but I wouldn't have written my books, so I don't regret it. I wrote 3 books and
You wouldn't be on the
I wouldn't be on
Stories podcast. Because that sounds like a boring.
that's so true. I'm glad I did it all.
So we're glad you did. We've got 2 episodes out of it.
No, 100%. 100%. But yeah, it sounds like maybe you're just going to go under the radar now. Which
I don't know about that.
And you look out there,
or
you're
maybe the
looking for love.
journalism career.
You look out there looking for love, or at 51 of you, you're still hopeful. Do you know what I mean?
Look, I'm very happy by myself. I've been on my own a long time. Of course, I have flings.
When was the last sort of, I guess, serious, where you had a partner and
that
eating
ended in
dinner together
disaster.
and watching
About to say, I
Neighbours?
remember one that ended in disaster.
Oh, so my love life always ends in disaster. I know the court here well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's disaster,
And
isn't it?
so,
The restraining order court.
You nearly called me. Amanda, are you on I've been with my wife, as we were saying before, for 18 years, so I've never been on any of the apps and stuff, but are you on the apps and stuff?
I'm on one.
On one app?
I've got banned from 2.
Do you get
Why?
recognised?
I did get banned from
Do you
2.
reckon have you ever been recognised?
Yes.
They've gone, hey,
Yes. And then they send me messages on my Instagram.
go, hang on, I just saw
Yeah, and
you
I
on.
thought, oh God. Anyway, that's how I got banned from Tinder and Bumble, because someone reported my accounts as fake. So I joke, I can't even get laid online.
So one of the biggest things I'd imagine to get used to, apart from the thrill, is the money. Like, I imagine it's the easiest, or it's not the easiest, but the best. Potentially easiest and best money that you've ever made, that 10-year period. And I would also imagine that if you came back now, you could make a shit ton more money than you made back then, right? So the bag or the carrot is even greater today because the opportunity is bigger and whatever. How do you not go for the bag, A, or B, and has that been one of the biggest mind things? Do you know what I mean? Where you go, I can get
because
money.
that
life
could
could be
pulling.
very
That
simple
would be-
over here.
Yeah, there's a lot of money out there.
And because money makes life simple,
Guys,
right?
you're tempting me.
It doesn't. Well, it doesn't make it doesn't make you
You're
happy, which we all
tempting me.
agree. But it does make life simple.
Yeah, I was fine till I came in here. Now you got me thinking about it again.
We'll put the link down below.
Get you off and running.
Meet my new pimps. Yeah, it's hard. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, it's really hard. I'd love to say that was it and I sailed off into the sunset and happily ever after. But of course, I know if I went back now, I'd make a fortune. Absolute fortune. At what cost, though?
But
And
wouldn't
would
you
it ever be
be,
enough? What would I do with the money? I don't need more clothes.
Yeah.
I could do with more property, I guess. I think it's hard to go back to anything. Marriages, people, jobs. It's hard to go back.
I learnt that when I was younger, more around the job part. But yeah, I've always been told that you never go back. If you leave, you never go back. There's a reason you left, and you should never go back.
Yeah, and I'm a lot healthier now. I did the best with the tools I had at the time, and I've got healthier tools now, and I don't think I'll go back. I don't think I can go back, even if I wanted to.
You got any other passions that are sort of?
I love writing, and that's my passion. I've got another book coming out at the end of the year, and I've going to start writing my 5th book soon.
What are these? They can't
It's
all.
that the one
we
later
can't
on.
all be talking about the stilettos. You know what I mean?
No. That's
Be like Rocky 6, Samantha X 6.
What's the real Rocky 6?
Yeah. So no, I don't know. Yeah. So was there? Yeah, I think there was.
Oh, I don't
Apollo
know.
Creed.
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
know. So what are the subjects of the books now? What's your passion? What do you want to write about?
Well, the publishers are very keen on erotic fiction these days. So I'm not feeling very erotic these days. So I'll have to come to you guys for inspiration.
you
You
have
need to
to-
channel your Samantha.
I have to channel Samantha for that.
But then
yeah.
you're taking yourself back.
No, because it wouldn't necessarily be about the industry.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah. Fresh meat.
Like 50 Shades of Grey. type
Maybe. Oh, can you imagine writing the next one of those?
thing. I haven't read it, but
I tried to.
sounds like you would try to.
No, I did try to read it. I couldn't.
Ah.
Why not?
I don't know. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the only one in the whole world.
I
that
just
thinks
know
that,
it's a
obviously.
big deal, yeah?
Yeah,
Erotic fiction's huge for women
Yeah.
at the
Is it?
moment. Yes.
What about podcasts? Erotic.
This is
Because
erotic.
of-
You have an
yeah.
erotic podcast.
Yeah. I wonder if that's a niche that's getting tapped into, PK.
We're looking for a new direction, aren't we? No, this is good, Amanda. Appreciate you coming on, and it's great to hear that you're healthy and well as well
Thank you.
after a turbulent time. Like, that's the thing. We didn't go crazy into the turbulence because that's back in the original ep, one of our best performing eps. But yeah, it was turbulent. Samantha was pretty full on.
What was the turbulent? I can't even remember what we talked about.
Wow, all I can think about is you getting drunk with the
wasted and
mums.
disappointed.
Like you said, you were just she was full on.
Yeah, I was.
She was full on.
I've blanked a lot of it out.
And you definitely feel more relaxed this time as well. We were
Yeah, I
definitely
know.
Well, I was probably
nervous.
hyper.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just on medication. No, no, the medication just stabilizes you. So
Yeah, correct. Well, well, again, going back to my visual here. So the average person's here.
Yeah.
You're living in a state of mania.
Yeah.
Your extreme mania is up here. When you're having the medicine, it just brings you back down to where everyone else is. Right? It just stable,
more or
levels
less.
up.
You still get the cycles, but they're not just so extreme.
Well, they're not going as high because
they're not going as high. So I'm not going to go out and get a BMW in my bikini
or a Labrador.
Oh my God. I had a Chihuahua, 3 dogs. I'd go out shopping to Coles, come back with another dog, then got 2 cats, and then just had nowhere to put them. Couldn't even fit them in my car. It was just mad. It was just mad. And I didn't pay bills. I had 2 lots of car insurance I didn't know I was paying. You know, I didn't know how to cope with everyday tasks.
Yeah.
But Samantha was really successful.
Yeah.
So then behind
So you were
closed doors.
winning,
Yeah. So I was really successful on the outside, but on the inside, my life was absolute fucking disaster.
And you're making enough money for the accounting didn't need to be perfect and the decision making didn't have to be accurate.
I don't know how I got through it.
Yeah.
You know, I just fumbled my way through. And I just put on this front that I was super empowered, super strong, super confident. And that really probably saved me at a time I needed saving. And then when I was diagnosed, when I was on the medication, the psychiatrist said, you'll finally know who Amanda is. And that's when I started to realize I didn't need to create that other character anymore.
Got one more question for you.
Go on.
For all, because we're a 25 to 45 or, male sort of dominated
Yes.
podcast. So I'm not going to ask you for advice for any of the girls out there looking to get into the industry. But, but for the dads out there, right? For the dads out there that have got girls and, it's saturated because it's so prevalent and so many people are doing it. I've got 2 young girls.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking don't want to wake up one day and one of them may be on OnlyFans or whatever. What would the advice be to the dads if my daughter came to me one day and God forbid she came to me or someone else came to me and said, "Hey, did you know that your daughter?" Do you know what I mean?
What would you do?
What would your advice be? Being that you were that daughter,
Oh
what would
my God, that is really hard.
for dad to come in?
Well, I
and
was
say, "What do you-"
38.
Yeah,
I made my decision at 38.
Because how does dad handle that? How does
But
dad
more
go
so
in
the
and-
advice, what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to
So
like,
your
compare,
advice, I actually, I don't really know how to answer that because it's really hard for me to answer that because if your 18-year-old daughter is doing something like that, then she's an 18-year-old girl.
And you can't stop them, right? Like I'm sitting here thinking, give me some advice on what I could do to make her change her mind. But the reality is,
can't stop
at that
her.
point,
Yeah.
you're
Well, I
not
think
trying
it's-
to
I think
change their mind. You just
I think it's what Amanda was talking about earlier when you were talking about the lessons and what you're going through now. And like you said, not to say there's full regret there, but there's probably some things you might have done differently. And they're going to have to understand that potentially it's going to follow them around forever.
Yeah.
And they may not appreciate
when
that
you're
at
young,
that
you
point.
know everything.
Yeah.
and
Look,
you're
your
bulletproof.
instinct is probably to go ballistic and be really upset and angry and disbelief. I personally think a more productive way of dealing with it is to sit her down and ask her why she's doing it, and is there anything you can do to stop her, and to think about the future, think about her career that she may want to
The repercussions.
So-
and look, I just want to make one thing very clear: sex work is not bad.
That's what I was going
You
to
know,
ask you.
like,
That
sex
was my
work
next
is-
question. My next
Yeah.
question is, because that's the blurred line there as well. Like, you're not necessarily advocating to turn around and say, well, no.
No.
Like, if she wants to do it and she's doing it, you're like, it's not the end. Do you know what I mean? Dad, chill out, like it's her choice. Is that your position somewhat?
It's not chill out because
Yeah.
I'm not naive enough to know that you're not going to chill out about it.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't mean, I mean hypothetically more like, hey, Dad, would you be on the side of where
Look,
do you sit?
If
where, you know what I mean?
if someone I love in my family, my child, was doing it, I would be unhappy about it, to be honest.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I'd like, yeah.
Um,
And I think that's the most powerful thing anyone watching at home can probably take. That if you were unhappy about it, then deep down, it's it's not the ideal.
I would just question.
It's not a life that you would want your kid to live.
Why would she feel the need to do that?
Yeah.
Is it lack of self-esteem? Is it money? Is it validation she's looking for? But I've got to be really careful to say that sex work is not bad. Sex workers are not bad people. They're not desperate. They're not, lots of professional, educated women.
There's good and bad
choose
ones,
to do
and
it.
right
Yes.
and wrong ones, all of that. Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're 17, 18, I would really question your motives. Is it just to get a Chanel handbag? Or is it
I think that's what you said last time as
survival,
well. Yeah.
Or is it
Yeah, right.
validation? Whereas, mine was validation. Where can you get your validation from apart from doing an OnlyFans account? Is it purely money? A lot of girls are doing this for purely money,
So
financial reasons.
Validation in the context of you're beautiful, you're pretty?
No, just a lack of self-esteem. In my part, I can only talk about my story.
Yep.
And, a little bit of... I needed a bit of direction. I probably didn't have great self-esteem issues. As most people, you don't have to be a sex worker to do that.
Yeah.
So if someone I knew or my child was wanting to be an OnlyFans star at the age of 18, I would really sit down and talk to her about it. But yeah, I would never disown anyone. And if she wanted to do it, then I couldn't stop her. But why does she want to do it? And where does she think this will end?
Does she
Yeah, what does it
understand
look
what she's
like?
getting herself
Does
into?
she understand what she's getting?
Because she probably doesn't.
Yeah.
Fair to say.
Yeah. And look, we're talking about the women in the industry. What about the men that are paying for this?
Yeah, and you also said before there's men doing this.
Well, there's men doing
You know what I
this,
mean?
but
Like
for
what are we
every-
talking about? There's dudes out there doing the exact same thing. We just don't talk about it.
Exactly. But also the Bonnie Blues of the world. What about the men? Are you addressing the men that line up for an hour?
Dude, I know the 1,000 dudes that.
Well, they're
signed
just
up.
buggered. I don't know. They're too far gone.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they're
there's
young
1,000
kids.
of them,
A
dude,
lot
that-
of them are young kids.
Yeah.
It's
So what
mind-blowing.
about the consequences for those people?
Yeah. The word. It's.
Here now.
I know, and it's easy to demonize the
What do you
sex
think?
worker.
Why are they? Yeah, why are they? Well, the thing is, I guess those guys,
Fame, man, it
It's
has
not-
to just be fame. It
but
has
they're not
be-
going to
they
get
just-
famous from it, are they?
They're famous, dude.
But
We're
they
talking
have their
about them on the-
faces covered and stuff.
Yeah, like they're
Oh,
not.
sorry. I'm thinking of the two girls. They
No,
get
I'm talking about the
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
there's
why are
1,000
they
men
doing
that
it?
line up. That's 1,000
Oh, well, you know what?
people.
That's to tell their mates. They're probably
Well, they
young
hide their
kids.
faces, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but to say, oh, I did it. But if I was with my mates, I wouldn't be going, oh, I did it. I'd be going, no, I didn't do it, mate. What are you talking about? Like, you wouldn't own up to being one of 1,000, surely. Like, I'm not
sure
I
what's
don't know.
driving
You're
those
men.
boys.
How do men think about it?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
it doesn't
Like,
make
you got to
sense.
think about 18 years old.
Yeah, at 18, the only way I could think that you're trying to have a laugh with your mates, but you can't have 1,000 blokes that are doing it for that reason. You know what I mean?
There's probably some that maybe are battling a bit, and might get a few knockbacks. You know what I'm saying?
God, I'm with you. So
May
I'm a
not
bit-
go
I'm a bit
that
slow.
well.
I'm a bit, yeah, right. So
Yeah.
their batting average is not that good.
Yeah, and they just get their average up. I don't know.
Look,
I'm not sure it's a
I
tricky
don't
one because it
know.
never happened
But
in my day.
sex workers will always be there because the need is there. Men will pay for men pay for the industry.
Yep.
Basically, if you think about it,
Yeah,
men fund the
Facts.
industry, yet
Facts.
the women are stigmatized.
Is it? Can I ask? I don't even know if you would know this. Is it because I sort of lent into it or alluded to it before about the OnlyFans, but the physical. Is that a growing industry or is that dying out there in the streets, in the Collingwood streets and Clifton Hill and stuff?
I don't know.
Relative to what's going on online.
You mean like streetwalkers?
Yeah, yeah.
I have no idea. I
Yeah.
don't see them anymore. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, King's Cross used to be like that in
I
Sydney.
feel like that's all gone online. Would you-
Yeah. I don't know,
like a lot of things, but yeah.
but I think establishments are still busy. I think people still want human connection before we all get robotic partners.
It's coming.
I reckon it is. I absolutely reckon it is.
Well, yeah, well, I guess
Elon would be
some of these workers are going to be out of a job soon, you know.
I reckon it's really going to affect the industry.
No, I agree. I've seen somewhere like, they reckon there's robots and
Yeah, right.
With-
And you can buy one.
Yeah.
yeah.
You can did you see that Instagram thing where they had that female robot
Maybe.
and she's actually very attractive.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to make one, you know what I mean?
Well,
It's worth doing.
People
Worth
like
doing, right?
different things.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But they're like the 6-star blow up doll.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah,
say
yeah,
back
yeah.
in the day, the
The blow up doll.
whatever that shop was called. Cool, Amanda. This has been great, and glad to hear you're doing well, and good luck with the next book.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on.
Anything to leave us with?
Is there anything you want me to leave you with?
No.
Shout out the Pat. Where do they find the book and the podcast?
So Misfit, Unraveling of Samantha X is out in all good bookstores, the airports, online, Audible. It's my voice.
You did the read?
Yes, I did the read. I was going to say narrative. I can't never pronounce that word. Narrated it. I narrated it.
Yep.
So you get to hear my English accent. And and my podcast Exposed is on Spotify and all good podcast places.
All good podcast places, Benny. That's where you find us. Let's go. Like, share, subscribe. See you at the top.
People want to be part of a winning team. People can find a better version of themselves if they choose.
You just need to go start some shit. Action is all that matters.
Be a man of your word.
I think I look back now and I'm like, whoa, that took some guts.
Be kind, be kind, be kind.
See you at the top.